Добрий день, я вітаю всіх, хто приєднався.
Good afternoon. I want to thank everybody for joining Ukraine Media Center Ukraine Forum. It's day 280 of the heroic resistance of the Ukrainian people, and now we will be talking about the situation in Mykolaiv region. Joining us right now is the military governor of Mykolaiv, Vitalii Kyiv, Mr. Vitalii. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Vitalii. How was the last day in Mykolaiv? What's the situation in the region? Well, everything was quiet. In Ecuador, near Ochakiv community, there was shelling, but no casualties, no destruction, so we can say everything was quiet. About the potable water, we know that the works were almost accomplished, but there were new bombardments by the occupiers on that sector. Was the situation as of now? For the time being, the occupiers continue shelling two important sectors. There is certain destruction. They shelled our power technicians team who were repairing the power supply lines, but we're continuing our works and we're trying to renew the power supply. For what we understand, it's hard to forecast anything with the water supply. Well, the things are changing. Our team was on a mission, but they were shot at, and they were waiting for the permit from the military to continue their works. What the situation with the power supply in the region? The power supply limits are being increased. We get reconnected, well, not get reconnected, but we plan to ask for decrease of the disconnection time. And the situation in the region depends on the general situation of Ukraine. Do you have any news from the Kinburn pit? Unfortunately and fortunately, yes. I can only say that 2 days ago, the occupiers forcibly deported 37 persons from that area against their will, and now the operation is going on in the regime of information silence. Well, we have to understand that it's a long perspective issue. There are some specificities to it. What about Snegurivka and the district around it? What's the situation there? What are the measures taken after the occupation? In the occupation in Snegurivka, the power supply is partially reestablished. The cell phone network is resumed. Part of the district works on generators. The hospitals are working in normal mode. The local governances operations are refused. The humanitarian aid is being delivered. The roads are being reconstructed, and the reconstruction works are in progress on the third bridge to reestablish the communication between the towns, and the large demining works are in progress. The main problem in the occupied territories is the large number of mines. We have questions in the studio. Irina Mamchur, Ukraine Forum. Could you please tell us, in Mykolaiv and the regions, are the critical infrastructure objects in the region provided with the necessary number of generators? Like you announced that previously, that they will be able to work in uninterrupted mode under conditions of blackouts. And the other question is, are you preparing, or maybe you are already prepared to act during blackouts? For example, when the winter comes and the temperature falls below zero, when the water has to be drained from the heating systems in the cities, are there people responsible for these processes appointed? Thank you for the question. If we say that we are okay, the help and support will stop. This is why we're not quite all right. We provided the critical infrastructure. We provided the normal comfort for the people, more or less normal, but we continue to increase the number of generators paid from our local budget, and we started this procedure 2 months ago. This is why we augment our potential, and we think that we will be all right, but we're still waiting for the support from our partners. So how bad do you feel? How much more generators do you need? Because people report that, for example, some clinics during the previous blackouts were unable to operate. So how big is your requirement for generators? The clinics are the urgent clinics who are about to operate. They are provided with generators, and in case of lack of fuel, the patients will be transferred to other clinics which are fully provided. The regional clinics are equipped with the alternative fuel-based boiler rooms. So as to the clinics, we're solid there. As to the other infrastructure objects, I would not like to disclose certain moments, but still, because it may do harm to us, but we have certain reserve for the cases if anything goes out of order, so we augment our reserves of fuel and diesel generators so we can cover more population. Also, we deploy the resilience station. We have more than hundreds of them already deployed. They all need generators, and we're ready to deploy more based on the needs. Well, Mr. Vitalii, going a little bit ahead, we know that the victory is coming. Is there a plan for a building of Mykolaiv? Is it being prepared? Well, we have to divide it in two parts as to the reconstruction plan. More than 13,000 buildings are either damaged or destroyed, including the infrastructure objects. That will be the first step on the way of reconstruction. But as to the reconstruction plan, as I see it, with the construction of new installations, new jobs, so this document is being worked on still, but the war is still not over, and the warfare is still on. So we will proceed from first phase actions to the middle term plans. I want to thank you, Mr. Vitalii. Thank you for joining us. I will remind you we had Vitalii Kim joining us online, military governor of Mykolaiv. Our next briefing is at 1300. Anna Derevyanka, the executive director of European Business Association, will join us, and we will be talking about the challenges for the businesses during the war. So bear with us. Glory to Ukraine.